Welcome back, everyone. I want to give an optional lesson on this Java tutorial. So we just made our very first program. We don't know what we did, but we know we made this program and it ran fine. When we clicked the run button from the previous video, it gave us this welcome, right, with an exclamation mark. Alright, so I want to give you a history lesson. Again, this is optional. You can go ahead and skip this video if you don't want the history lesson. I want to go over what we had to do in the old days. So basically, we would make a text file with our code on it. Alright? We would go ahead and save it as a .java file. So I'm going to recall it the same thing onto the desktop. And for it to be read as a .java file and not a .txt file, we'd had to surround the name with double quotation marks. And when you saved it to the desktop, it would be saved as a .java file, not a .text file. And if we look at the properties, it says type of file, Java file, all in caps. And then, the next step, we would open up our command prompt. We'd go to the directory where our file was. In this case, it's on the desktop. And we would go ahead and compile our tutorial file. And it would create a class file. Again, you don't have to memorize this. This will be covered later, but this IDE is handling a lot of steps that we don't have to do to make the learning process easier. We are going to go through on how everything eventually works in the end, but as of right now, we're just going to make these work. If we went ahead and edited this .class file that was generated, we would see a bunch of jargon. We'd see all these special characters. This looks like a music note right here. This looks like a little dot right here. This looks like a little square with a little circle in it. There's a plus and minus symbol. We just leave that alone. It doesn't mean anything to us. We don't care. We would go ahead and run our program. And can't have .class at the end of that for it to work. And it would say welcome, just like it does inside this IDE. So inside this IDE, this NetBeans tutorial, this actually represents the console on our Windows machine. Whether you're in Windows 7, Windows 10, doesn't really matter for the Java. It would run the same. So for most of these programs that we're going to be writing at the beginning can be run through the command prompt. But we're going to strictly stick with the NetBeans IDE. You can use Eclipse, you can use IntelliJ, you can use pretty much any one you want. It doesn't really matter because we're only learning the basics of Java in this series. We're not going to really get into all the cool stuff that we really want to do, like GUIs, buttons, graphics, animation, game stuff. That'll come later. But right now we have to learn the fundamentals. This concludes this video. Hopefully it was a great history lesson. I'm going to go ahead and delete these, empty the recycle bin, and we will start the next video.